What's up, Shinners? Welcome back. This is the Shin Dig Podcast, where we get under the skin of the UK's trials biking community. My name is Tom Hutley.
And I am Matt Pengelly.
And today we are here with a very special guest. Everyone's a special guest on the Shin Dig Podcast.
Bit of a trials legend, bit of an oldie, I'm going to say.
Wow.
An oldie, that's right, man.
It is Sam Wheeler.
Mr. Sam Wheeler. Hello, mate. How are you?
Hello. I'm all right, man. How are you?
Yeah, we're good. Better now that we've got you on the show. The little legend that you are.
Little's the right word.
Yeah.
Sam, if people aren't watching the video, whereabouts are you right now and what are you doing?
We've literally just getting out of the car at Charlie's to go and ride some dry things indoors.
So that's the barn at the Bike Trial Academy. Fantastic
That's
spot.
the
And it's
one.
where trials riders from all over the UK are flocking there in this time. It's the most reliable, most awesome place to ride at this time of year. So, good to see.
And first, I suppose at this point, people listening to this or watching, our video would be out of the barn. So make sure you go and check that out. Bike Trial Academy Barn UK Ride. I think we're actually going to try and get ourselves there today as well.
Do it, man.
Having known this, we might have actually just gone there to do it, but we'll definitely be up there to.
That's going to be weird if we just done this podcast with them and then go see him later on. It's like, yo, how's it going? Like, we'll just be a video call and now we're in person. I want to kick things off, actually. My first exposure to Sam Wheeler. How about that?
Yes, let's talk about our exposures to the little legend. Tom, you go first.
So there was a particular video of you on the White Tsar. I remember this.
Oh, I remember that bike, man.
Joel Magura. There wasn't a lot of, when popularity was to do TGS style sort of videos, it was a Joni Mitchell track, Night in the City.
You mean a lot of it was
yeah. Oh man, I watched that video on endless loop because it was, to me, it was trials because there was a lot of lines. It wasn't just like let's just do a gap. It was like let's do a gap up or let's go back wheel onto a wall, then do a side up after that. And it was just so smooth, effortless. I just watched it so much. And I think that really just shows everyone what your style is like. Where does that style come from, Sam? Because it's so unique. People have just
he's like, I don't know.
have called it Wheeler.
Man, I just like having fun, finding things that don't look like they should be ridden, I guess, and messing about on them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, getting creative. I understand that point of being that doesn't look right, or it doesn't look like you can get up that on a bike. I always felt that you proved to many people that really power was not necessary, or what should I say, not power, but like strength, right? Technique.
Yeah, physicality.
The technique. I'm being quite polite here, We don't know you as most of the other guys that we've interviewed because we'll roast the hell out of them, but we'll be very civilized. But what I have to say is like spot on technique. You were still, I think that's how you were able to probably take the next step in most of, I'll say like for example, a side hop. Only recently you put out a video on your Insta that was like probably the same sort of size and level you were doing back then, right?
Yeah, probably quite similar.
It's just it's obscene.
Hey, Rob. That was Rob, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, anyone definitely go follow Sam on Instagram. What's your handle on Instagram, Sam?
Honestly, I have no idea.
He has no clue. We'll just put a tag in. You can type, Sam.
Because these clips come out. Chris showed me one for the weekend that gap to front you did in the side up, and it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous, Like it's all well and good. Like Matt was saying, you see someone on a big stock turn up on a, they're a powerhouse, or Damon Watson. You think, well, he's got all this strength behind him, but just to see you next to this wall and then you just fall up the wall.
It's essentially just meant like. Even from that exact gap to front, obviously, last time I was there, you were there with me, right? So I'm like looking at it, and now I can see it so that when I was trying it, it felt like I was doing everything possible, or even right, like proper stretching. But somehow, when I watched you a couple of days ago, I was like, what? What happened?
Yeah, because I wouldn't even try it, mate. I wouldn't even.
That's what I meant. You weren't even envisioning it.
No.
All right, so let me get to the point now. What changed in those few weeks? Where do you feel like you've gone, oh, I've just got my burst back, like this sudden explosive power? Or is there some sort of drugs you're taking that we don't know about, that we should? I don't know.
Not that I know of. I don't know, mate. Just I don't know. You go somewhere, and then at that time, you're like, it feels like it'll go. Give it a try. That's about it. There's no real.
Are you riding a slightly different bike? Am I getting that right? Because I'm sure you.
What did I have when you came down? Was it the blue one?
So you did have a blue.
Yeah,
you did have a blue Breeze, didn't you?
Yeah, this is the same bike. I took the paint off of it.
Okay, so that's what helped you, basically.
The same bike, yeah.
You know, like weight weenies, this paint is awfully heavy. Okay, well, I mean, I would perhaps might put it down to consistency there, building yourself back up.
Well, that's a cool mention, really, because it really captures what trials is like. That when you're there in the moment, you just look at it and go, it just feels right. I can do that. There's so many times. It's never about physical size. You just sort of, it's just a little switch in your head that goes, I don't look too bad, actually.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it.
On that particular day as well, and you just suddenly see it, or you feel. There are some days that I feel like a foreigner on my bike, but there are other days where the bike feels a part of me.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though it's the same.
It's just like that, isn't it? Some days you'll think, I don't feel too good now. You go out for a ride, but then everything will work. Everything will feel right.
I always like the idea of setting a seriously low expectation for myself. Every single time I go riding, same when we make our videos quite recently, I've just been like, I'm going to have the lowest expectation of myself when I want to ride and just
turn up and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's why I'm enjoying it more now, because I spent 9-10 years not riding trials, just riding BMX. And I've come back to it and still thinking, I just ride BMX. Well, doing this for a laugh now, and it's working.
So where do you, because you do, like you say, you used to ride BMX, or you do ride BMX. How much of that can you cross over to trials, or does it at all, or does it not?
I can't bunny up this thing.
Yeah, it's obviously the geometry is already pretty extreme, but this is moving quite nicely onto something I wanted to ask about. As a rider from 10 years ago, the geometries, especially on a 20-inch, right, they're just completely different, and as well as that, the setups that you're working with. So, how are you finding the comparison right now from what you used to ride in your Deng days? You're on the Adamants and the Tsar. And now you're on like a Brie with, you've got Kruger's bars and stem. How is that to you? What are the differences there that you're feeling? The benefits, maybe not so good benefits?
Benefits in every aspect of it. Just feels so much better.
Like it's just obviously more, we improve as we go along. But that did you have to feel that you adapted your riding at all to it?
Not really, because I wanted to do it sort of properly, get back into trials and get a proper trials bike. I didn't want a street bike, so I was like, you know what, I'll just put this stem on, put these bars on, crank them forward, get the front end as low as it does, and just get used to it, and it's good fun doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it's mad that, again, because my rationale thinking, if you come from a BMX background, why not maybe go down the route of like a streety bike route?
Yeah.
Maybe the brakeless thing that Tom Mitchell does and flip. Is that ever intrigued you, or is it too close to BMX? Or
probably too close. I had an Inspired for about 2 months, and I either wanted to ride.
Was the bike too big for
you? But I either wanted to ride trial.
Yeah.
I didn't want both at the same time.
I seem to remember, is that the Inspired? I remember seeing a photo on trials for him, because this is partially to do with how you got to Cambridge today, right? There was a photo of that, possibly that Inspired. It might have been a different bike.
Oh, a white one.
with both the wheels out on the back of like a moped.
Yeah. If it was a white one, yeah, that was mine.
This is the perfect.
My brain just
now.
gone ding. Like I remember, I basically remember this now.
I only found this out quite recently when I went to Oxford.
Tell us a little bit about this, because this was kind of what used to be my rationale. Because years ago, I never used to have a car license, so yeah, I only had a motorbike license. That's what I did. But how does it work for you?
In the winter, it's pretty cold and miserable, and you get somewhere and you're soaking wet already. But that's all right.
But just for the listeners, can you tell a bit of what we're talking about?
Yeah, put some context.
Yeah, when we go to places like, as you are today at Cambridge, obviously most people just turn up in a car, you chuck the bike in the back. It's a relatively easy thing to do. But for yourself, you do it on the back of a bike, right?
Yeah, I went halfway today and met Sean and Rob, jumped in Rob's car. But yeah, just strap my bike to the back of a motorbike.
I think I have a picture somewhere on my phone of when I first saw it in Oxford, because I thought you were joking. I thought it was sort of a joke. But then when we left at the end of the day, you were putting your bike on your bike, and I was like, this is actually impressive. I've only seen it done once before from Kieran Whitefield, but then at the time, it wasn't practical. He was doing it for a joke. Like, he wasn't genuinely going anywhere. Whereas Sam, it's actually, we'll try and find a photo of that. So if anyone wants to know how Sam does that.
I'll get you a picture later. When I get home tonight, I'll send you a picture when I get back.
Yeah, that would be good. I thought I had one, but if not, we'd just to give some context to that.
Yeah, fair play. It's probably what we should do with London, because like with congestion charging in London now, I told Sean to go into Central and he got a ticket for congestion charging. So we're all to be on mopeds, just going from spot to spot.
Wait, so mopeds? Yeah, we could start doing that then. Start some sort of trend.
Don't forget, you can't filter through traffic.
Yeah, it's wider than your mirrors or whatever.
Well, it's
I've taken a few wing mirrors off doing that.
They've got bus lanes, mate. So if anything, it might be more practical. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to start too much now, but it does amaze me. I'm super impressed with how you do it, and you don't let that stop you, Sam. If it was me, I'd be like, Rob, come pick me up, mate.
Oh yeah, when I go out riding or anything like gym wise or something, you have the least barriers to entry as possible. Like get your gym equipment done beforehand. But no, that's sick. That's awesome.
All right, we'll jump into our little quick fire question round, if we can remember all of them this time before. Firstly, Sam, where is like one of your favourite spots to ride? Anyway, what's your favourite spot generally to ride?
Bristol, without doubt.
Bristol, that's it. That's all that needs to be said. Yeah, Bristol, classic street ride. I
lost my Bristol virginity this summer, just going, yeah.
Oh, you did? Yeah. You need to get there a little bit more. Mate, yeah, I can even really agree more for those that haven't been. Yeah, pretty epic.
And when you're in Bristol, Sam, what is the one move, your favourite move, that is just you? What? Pick one.
I like the train tracks down the bottom. The slide up off the rail up onto the platform. I don't know why. It's always my favourite thing.
And when we were there, I remember you definitely. I was eyeing it up, but I wasn't trying it. But I remember you sort of eyeing it up as well. Maybe next time round, I think that your SIDs the size of the SID that you've got the other day is probably about right. So
I did it last week when I went with Joff. So we're all good.
Yeah, that's such a nice line. We'll try and get that. Now I want to see it. Did anyone film that then? No?
Probably not.
On a 20, it just looks that much more impressive. And that's the thing. And I think especially like you can get we got all these other 20-inch riders who are so powerful, and you watch them do those size, and it's like there's no surprise. It's like a flea jumping from a dog to a dog, And you actually watch Sam generally side up. He'll make a 49-inch side up look like a 59.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I say that in the best way, but it's just sort of that thing you're like, whoa. We have no idea how big it was, but all they do know is that it looks super impressive. All right, we've had your favourite spot.
Move. You really need a caffeine this morning, didn't you, man?
I haven't had that.
What's happening? The brain's just going, I'll fill that in. So your favourite rider, if you was there riding Bristol, you're doing from the rail up to the wall, who is your idol of a rider that you'd want to be? Maybe necessarily you don't want to ride with them, but who inspires you the most?
And that's difficult.
But does it depend on the day?
Everyone that I've ridden with, because you know what it's like. You ride with everyone that is. Like today, we're at Charlie's. Everyone knows how good he is, but you just go and ride with people as good in the world of trials as these guys are, and that's kind of just a normal thing.
So it's just like, inspiration comes in different segments and in different ways. So it's like kind of, I see what you mean, especially watching Charlie's latest video that Adrian brought out. It's kind of giving you that other boost. It's like, even though we were there a few days ago, I'm like, oh, damn, I want to go back again already.
Well, I found that because there was that little moment we was there riding in the morning, then he came out in the afternoon, but I noticed like certain riders you do get like a certain buzz off of when you ride with them. The kind of, it is that group ride mentality. You always go bigger on a group ride, I find. You always...
As long as they're having fun.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, Sean?
Yeah, and their influence. Sean, you can't be on this. You've already cancelled, so go away.
Yeah, can you just put... yeah, see.
No, we actually did. Is that the first time Sean just like effed off after we asked him to?
Yeah,
that was funny.
Well, I've got my headphone in, so I didn't hear what you said anyway.
Of course not. Because he knew we'd roast him right away. I think that's why he was... sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yes, no...
okay, so maybe not like but like if you're out riding by yourself, who, I don't know, has made like the best video in your mind, or just a move or a style that you think that's really cool, I want to be just like that?
I'm going to say it's going to have to be like Craig, Lee Scott, or Nick Goddard's stuff. Those sort of guys.
Back to your roots. You know what I mean?
Yeah, all those guys I used to ride with all the time, but they were the biggest inspirations in terms of videos as well.
Yeah, they were nailing that. Like they were the only videos you'd really watch.
We'll come into trials and Craig Lee Scott. It's just seeing that big stuff like on rails and the phone boxes and everything. You think, I know how big all that stuff is. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it was. I guess sometimes CLS's videos were just like so intense and so big that sometimes you would struggle to relate to them to some aspects. Some riders who were super early level, but it was always impressive to any trials rider whatsoever. Then you've got other riders who are still going just as big, that are riding the sort of different styles, being Sam, right? It's not this kind of got completely different style of riding when you look when you watch them, but both entertaining in their own right. And I think that's why I had all of, I must have done, but when we used to download videos on Trials 4.
Well, that was we
didn't use YouTube or like Vimeo. It was like, right click, save as Sam Wheeler's our video. Oh, Sam Wheeler's Adamant video. I remember having them on my secondary school computer, mate. Yeah. Like that that makes you feel any older, Sam.
I don't mind. I still look like a 15-year-old, so I don't care.
Well, I mean, you must be in those genes, mate. Clearly,
Must be.
I reckon you're creeping up with Charlie now. You guys are. I should say. Oh, sorry, no. Charlie's creeping up with Sam. Oh God, I've not had any coffee. And the final one, which is most important we ask everyone. Can you remember and tell us about your worst ever shindig?
Yeah.
You didn't have to think very, very long then. Go on.
It was, I bought some new pedals and went out for a little ride in Oxford, just for an evening when I was, I don't know how old. It's like, it was the day before we were going for a big Bristol ride. Just messing about. Bang. It's all the way up, like, giant holes, but I so desperately wanted to go to the Bristol ride. I didn't really do anything about it. I just taped it back together with steri strips and then put a bandage around it with a shin pad over the top and rode the next day.
So I need to get some power.
It was horrible though. Hello.
Always are. You just think, because they come out of nowhere, but there's no rhyme or reason to them. So just because you get one doesn't mean you're going to get another one, but then you could get another one the next day.
Yeah, you just don't want to hit it at the same time again, do you?
Oh, it's the worst.
Well, it's that level of you then you mask up your shin for as long as you possibly can until it's healed, because if you just touch it the tiniest bit, it's just going to shred through it in a second.
Just the thought of it as well.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. Just us talking about it always makes me cringe sometimes, just to think I'm not even with it.
Yeah, when you pull up your shins, you're like, wow, I've done that. They're awful. What would I be like in my life if I had not done trials?
I feel like we want to make our own pedals, but it will just have the opposite effect. It'll just be dangerous. I feel
make them intentionally dangerous.
Yeah. We've been thinking about it, making our own Shin Diggers pedals.
So they leave a print afterwards.
Yeah, those sandals that have like a message on the bottom of the sand, but they'll be like branded.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be like more like a branding. It looked like a physical brand. Hopefully they get scarred.
A permanent scar.
Yeah. I know you're a tattoo man, aren't you, Sam? So I know you might be interested in that way. It'd be a very unique tattoo of our branding on your leg somewhere.
Yeah, did it hurt? Yes, mate.
Yeah, just to prove it. What did we'd call them? What was the name of the pedals we were going to say? I don't remember now. Saints and Shinners or something like that.
No one's still like that's out.
We've said it now. It's copyright, so we're working on it. We'll have some T-shirts and merchants and all that jazz one day.
So going forward, Sam, what's riding to you now? Like keeping sustained. One of the things we asked people was like, how do you keep motivated when you come out for each time for a ride? Why do you ride? What is it for?
Pure enjoyment. I want to. Feels good to ride it. It's, I don't know, just feel comfortable riding my bike at the moment. So having fun whenever I can doing it.
This is so good. I love this because, this is like a weekday at the time of recording this. And this year we've had like more group rides.
I don't know, I'm looking at my watch. It's December because that's what my watch tells me.
Yeah, it's December and people are riding midweek, and we just hope that the sport is able to grow much bigger like this with Charlie opening up the barn and more facilities popping up more ever and ever. Yeah.
I think obviously lots of us are capturing what is still going on in the trials community. I am hearing from other people from their mouths that the sport is dead, but then those people are just riding on their own and not actually getting out with all of us or spending time with that. So I just think that if anything, this is the least dead the sport to me has been in the winter. I generally don't ride at this time. I'm sure you're the same, Sam. How you think you'd be riding at this time? Usually this time of year, would you usually ride in the winter?
I always used to. It didn't really bother me very much. I quite enjoyed it when I quite enjoyed it when it was wet and miserable, because it just makes everything you have done in the dry harder.
Look at this glass half full, kind of been like, is it raining? No, that's okay, because now it just looks more impressive. And all I have to do is wear 4 or 5 jumpers.
Wind, man. The wind. Can't deal with the wind. That stresses me out.
Wind does suck. It's one of those that you can wrap up, like you can put a waterproof jacket on, you can wrap up for the cold, but like you can't do anything about the wind.
No, I mean, like weight weenies like us, little light bikes, you can get blown away. Like I mean that physically.
Yeah, depending where you're on the rear wheel and the front wheel, just going over there. Like.
Yeah, no. Well, this is why I am quite happy that, despite 2020 being like one of the worst years for many people. For humanity, yeah.
Yeah, it's not all about you, Matt. Like,
for most people, I said.
Most 2020.
I said 2020 for most people. Yeah, if we're talking about that, it was actually really good for me. But not for everyone. And yeah, I never ride in the winter ever. And this is like a first. I know we're lucky.
Well, it's interesting to hear. Sam has been riding throughout the winter, so for all of us, scared of the winter, just go out and enjoy it.
Yeah, really. I've just been proved wrong. I thought he was going to try to go, oh yeah, no, it's not my thing. Just completely wrong. There is no excuse. Wrap up and get over it.
If there's one thing
I used to ride.
Sorry, mate.
No, I used to ride competitions a lot. That's all I used to do. So really? Riding in the wet was part of it. It was good, always good laugh.
It's standard.
Just the norm, because I guess as a competition, any competition rider, it didn't matter what the day was. You're like, oh, it's raining, I'm not going to go ride.
This is the day off it. You've paid your entry fee. You've already signed up for it. You've taken the day off or whatever.
Yeah.
So I actually didn't know that Sam, that you'd actually competed. Can you tell us a little bit about the history of your competition career then, should we say? Because I don't know.
Pretty much every club in the UK that's been around, like the old type trial ones, the Hampshire competitions, the Essex one, rode that a lot.
Yeah.
What was that one? What was the name of it?
What, Essex Bike Trial Club? EBTC?
Yeah, years ago.
The one that Tom used to go to.
Well, I did like a year in one of them. So
you probably rode that at the same time and didn't
So
even know
weird.
each other. That happens.
Yeah.
And what else? The BRU World Champs for a few years.
BRU, I haven't heard that in a while.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Such a comp rider. Wow. This is really opening my mind. Like, not only is it incredibly hardcore and gnarly that, you know, it turns up like on rides on a motorbike, you know, so there's no like, I'm going to get in my car and get the blowers on or whatever. Rides in the winter. I've done all the competitions. Most kind of accoladed.
Yeah, I think he's
Right.
putting us all to shame right now.
Just enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The competition, I swear, the World Championship rounds were nothing more than, yeah, you ride a competition at the weekend, but in between the rounds in the week, you get to ride some of the sickest places all around the world. You got 5 days to just get to the next area, which isn't very far, and mess about. Ride what you want to ride around Spain, France.
It's a lifestyle, isn't it? That's what I'm seeing it that now. Like, even as to really get the most out of the competitions and that sort of kind of, I'll use the word career. It is a full-on lifestyle. I'm seeing that now.
Yeah. So if we've had one competition in the UK this year, the Bike Trial Academy, if, you know, competitions became more of a regular thing, if, you know, if the Essex Bike Trial comes back, would you be first to put your name down for it? Would you still want to be doing them?
I don't know, because I stopped doing them for a reason, because I just got fed up of it. But no, I've got no interest in queuing up to ride my bike.
Even though that's what you're going to do in about half an hour. Wait, I've got to ride this pallet, so I've just got to wait for Rob to try it, and then I'll show him how to do it.
Pretty much. No, Rob will smash it.
No, yeah, he did. He rode with us on that Sunday. He did get some smashable clips in there. I think
that's pretty cool, man. Well, I reckon we should probably let you go, man, because obviously you've travelled a long way to get to Cambridge today. It looks pretty good. We're pretty envious.
Don't want to hold you from your riding session, which
you got to head down here.
Yeah, it was up for us. It's sort of down to me, actually. So leave it with me, and I'll. Work can't listen to me right now. I'll see if I can take my work with me.
It'll be worth it, man. Yeah, I think we're staying till like 4. So
nice. Okay, man. Well, yeah, I think we'd love to try and get another little hop in with you. It's good to see you back out on your bike and back on actively on social medias. We'll put a link to Sam's Insta on there, because he's just gone back into the world of trials and sharing his riding.
Yeah, Sam, thank you very much for coming on. It's been absolute
thanks
pleasure.
for having me, guys.
Absolute pleasure.
So yeah, go check him out on Instagram, and of course we are available at Shin Dig Podcast on Instagram, and if you're watching this on YouTube, we're over there as well. Stay tuned. Every Friday we have a new wonderful guest from the trials community, and we upload our own videos as well. Anyone can be part of those if you're at any of the rides we attend, basically. So stay informed, stay tuned. Let's get onto all the WhatsApp groups, Facebook groups. Keep the scene alive.
Anyone that you guys might want to hear, please let us know. People that you feel will be suitable for the show, etc. Generally, we're just anyone that rides trials, so don't think you don't fit the bill. You don't have to be professional.
This is probably your chance to nominate. Who do we need on this podcast?
Who would you like to see next? Because this is what we want to try to engage. You can call them out. This is what we quite like. I want you people to call people out.
You want to get under the skin of.
It's got to be Nick Goddard, man.
I knew he was going to say it. Yeah. Okay. It's the second person we're going to have to get. I hope Goddard's listening to this now. We're coming for you, mate.
Wicked. Well, thanks again, man. Go have a good ride, and don't get a shindig.
Or do get a shindig. That just means you try, mate. Hopefully we'll get.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture if I do.
I feel really bad now if he does. That's losing my conscience.
I don't mind. Mate. It's fine.
Right, mate. Take care.
Sam,
ciao for now.
Take it easy, guys.
Cheers, mate.
Bye.
You